All right, it's 91X. We are here with the Wombats, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for the Wombats. Joining us for the Lump of Coal show tonight at Soma. Very, very nice to have you guys here. Welcome to San Diego.
Thank you for having us. It's nice to be back.
Yeah. Now, being from Liverpool, which is a seafaring community, do you feel like living in Liverpool and being from that town that you sort of got access to music before other folks in Britain did by virtue of just things coming there first on the way into Britain?
I think it was definitely that was the case in the sort of 50s, 60s when obviously the Beatles were starting out. They were getting a lot of influence from America coming over, I think. But when we were growing up, you know, internet had sort of already started, and like it was a lot easier to get hold of, you know, CDs and music in general. That I don't know. I guess you get influence from like lots of other. It's a very multicultural place with lots of different people from all over the world constantly coming in and out. So I guess maybe it does add to that. Yeah.
Is there an ambience, you think, to Liverpool that maybe some of the other towns in the British Isles or cities in the British Isles don't necessarily have as far as the music scene goes?
I think the thing about the music scene in Liverpool is everyone's very supportive and extremely active in other people's projects as well as their own. So everyone's always kind of willing to lend a helping hand and get them on the same bill or help them with the project or whatever. So that's really
being a lot smaller probably than, for example, London or whatever. It means that the scene is kind of closer and stuff as well. So
right,
yeah, but it's a great place to live and to be making music.
Yeah, there's lots of great venues and bars, cafe. You know, it's a real vibrant place to be as a musician. So yeah, it's good.
But as I understand it, you guys have considered making some kind of relocation to the United States. Is that correct? Has that sort of crossed your radar at some point?
Well, I mean, I've been back and forth from West Coast to London for the last couple of years, really. I moved to LA in February, yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like sunshine. It's nice.
Do you like? I hope you like the inside of your car, because you may see a lot of that in Los Angeles, too.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to be in a neighborhood where at least I can have days where I don't have to get in the car.
Right,
yeah.
That's good. Walking around, I like that.
Walking is nice.
Yeah,
we don't even have a car in Liverpool. You don't need one. It's kind of everything's so close and there's so much on your doorstep. You don't need it.
Good public transport as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have that here in San Diego.
Yeah, we took the trolley here last night.
Did you?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We've been on the trolley a few times.
The trolley's great. It just doesn't get to every part of town.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the tough thing.
But living in Liverpool or growing up there, was there sort of a rivalry maybe between like Liverpool and Manchester, and not even bringing London into the whole
there's
question?
Always a rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester.
Yeah, not just football-wise,
even in like Scrabble, they're fucking screaming and shouting at each other. But it's good. It certainly fuels everything on both sides, whether it's sports or creativity. They're always trying to outdo one another.
Yeah.
And is it a big deal if you're from? Well, I mean, let me ask you this: is any place north of London, is that sort of considered Northlands, North England, or
for Southerners?
For Southerners, they think anything north of like Islington is kind of just this no-go zone. But
right.
in truth, kind of the best parts of the UK are kind of in the Lake District and Yorkshire and places like that. Yeah.
Well, there's a phrase, there's a word that folks from Mexico use to describe folks from Mexico City. And folks who are from Mexico tend to feel that folks from Mexico City seem to think the world revolves around them. And I always seem to get this similarity between Mexico City and London. And in Mexico, they call folks who are from Mexico City chilangos. Oh, right. In fact, there's even restaurants called that serve like Mexico City-style cuisine. So is there sort of any sort of like word that folks from any place other than London refer to Londoners as? No?
Not really, because I guess London nowadays
wankers maybe or something like that.
Pricks.
So tell me about the Greek tragedy video.
That was actually filmed in London.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were there any wankers as extras in that?
Well, there was three of them in the video.
Award-winning wankers in the actual clip. This Irish director Finn Keenan had the idea for it, and we hashed a few ideas around, and we just thought it would be the last image of us three like hanging there dead would be enough to shock our mothers. So that's the main thing.
Were your mothers suitably shocked by that? Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, they hated it. Well, your mum kind of liked it.
My mum was quite into it. Yeah, I was like, that's fair enough. It's weird.
You should hang him.
Yeah.
He moved to Los Angeles. You should hang him.
It's certainly a striking video, anyway.
Well, you guys never had any real-life experiences like that, did you? Have any creepy fans or anything like that?
We've had creepy fans, but they never really made the next the next move into kind of doing
we're still
anything
here,
like
aren't we?
that.
So
Yeah.
we're doing
Good.
all right.
You'll know when we've got the really creepy fans.
We have wonderful fans here in San Diego. They're all wonderful people,
Yeah.
especially 91X fans. We love them.
We did have a few people write to us and say, like, I hope that wasn't based on me. And you're like, no, no.
Yes, you were the inspiration
Yeah.
for that. Well, I mean, you know, whether it's touring Australia, because you made a joke about the sign earlier and about how, you know, mad the distances are between places in Australia, but we would assume the same thing is here in the U.S. compared to touring maybe in Britain or in Europe. I mean, can you talk a little bit about the differences in playing in towns like that and how far they are away?
In Australia, you can't really drive from place to place, so you have to fly every morning to shows. So that can be quite tiring, I guess. But in the US, obviously, you hope that the booking agent has routed your tour so that you haven't got much more than like 6 to 9 hours every night to drive. But after tonight, the bus is driving from here to Des Moines, which is 1,700 miles, I think. So
that's
going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best routed one.
Yeah, I think that the dart flew off slightly, veered off to the left.
That's
on
the
that
problem
one.
with San Diego. When you get down here, you kind of run out of the United States to sort of work with. So you got to start backtracking other directions.
Yeah.
And really the only way to go is north or east. 1,700 miles. So when do you play there? When is the gig?
We're flying there, but
Yeah, we were like, oof, we need a day off
the
tomorrow.
crew are doing the whole drive, which is
Holy
going to be
smokes.
beyond freaky.
We're playing there on Wednesday, so they've got, there's a couple of
good.
days to make it.
All right.
But yeah, no, it's great. Like, touring America's an exciting place for us to be, and everywhere's so different. Like being down in San Diego now compared to being in Minneapolis like a week ago.
Oh, right.
Where there's snow on the ground and everyone's like walking around in thick coats and.
Yeah, this is cold for San Diego, believe it or
Yeah.
not. So, and so do you find that, touring different times of year, especially like around Europe where you actually get weather, does that ever impede your travel plans or anything? Does that ever impede the timber of the shows? Is it, is it too hot in some places or too cold?
No, it's only ever made us late for things, really, and kind of.
Yeah, if there's like a freak snowstorm or
Tornado warning we had once.
Being musicians, we were going to be late for it anyway. So what's wrong with a little bit later?
Well, we did.
really?
There was a festival we did in Belgium that time. There was this freak storm in the summer, and it actually ended up like some of the stages fell down. It was, a really sort of catastrophic event, and people died and stuff. And that wasn't fun.
Holy smokes.
So, but apart from those real weird, natural disasters, almost no, it's. I guess if it's raining and it's really cold, maybe fewer people come out on a Monday night because they don't want to leave the house. But
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we won't conjure up any earthquakes or tornadoes tonight. He said, knock on wood.
do you get earthquakes here?
Oh yeah, yeah. We haven't had any here in a couple of years, but they do have. If they happens,
Right.
But usually they're not too damaging or destructive.
Right.
So I mean, other than the quake that occurs when the Wombats take the stage at Soma, and it's like, rocking out time and so on.
There we go.
But talk to me a little bit about some of your experiences playing festivals, maybe some of the better experiences, because this is a very small and intimate venue. Do you guys like playing the large-scale venues?
I love playing the large-scale venues, yeah.
Large-scale paycheck maybe comes with it, perhaps.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes the smaller ones actually are a bit more nerve-wracking, I find anyway, because I can see everyone's individual faces, whereas in a big kind of like your Glastonbury's or whatever, everyone kind of merges into one. And I feel safer that way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then, like smaller venues, it's just you're picking out fans that you've seen
before.
before.
But smaller venues can be the best ones. If everyone's really, got a great energy, then things tend to get very sweaty and fun.
Yeah,
very
we played
fast,
Salt Lake City the other night, and it was a small kind of 300 capacity venue, and we ended up with like people on the stage like singing along, and
It's a rock karaoke with the Wombats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
they all just got on stage. And
I bet that was a lot of fun. I bet that was great.
Honestly, it was like just as fun as playing other gigs, but it's just different, and I think it's really nice to have a bit of a balance. You hear stories about like the Rolling Stones and bands like that who are used to playing stadiums. They'll still play really small venues because they miss that intimacy and stuff. And
right.
I think we're kind of lucky because we naturally fluctuate between the different levels of touring, and we're not quite at the Rolling Stones stage yet. So yeah,
give it time.
We have to play those venues, but, but it's really
no choice.
Yeah, we love it. It's really fun.
Well, where are some of your favorite places to play? I mean, I don't know if Salt Lake City might make the list, but are there places you enjoy playing near your hometown, or cities you like around the world that you enjoy playing in?
Australia is great.
Yeah?
I really like playing there.
Just played Terminal 5 in New York, which was like incredible. Probably one of my favourite gigs of the year.
Yeah.
London's always fun, but kind of a bit stressful. And then just your random ones in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes you have a kind of really great time, like in the Duck Room in St. Louis. Sometimes that can be the kind of the best show ever.
Yeah, because you don't expect anything from it, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, didn't even know people knew our songs here, and it's kind of that they can be really exciting and
it's a pleasant
unexpected.
surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Obviously, always playing Liverpool for us is like a homecoming show, but it's kind of weird because it always turns into like a party with all our friends and family and stuff. So it doesn't really feel like a normal show. It's just like, private party.
When you're back in Liverpool, you sort of feel obliged to give everybody a call, like, hey, I'm back in town, you should come out to the show or something.
Well, people normally just text you on the day of the show. Everyone in Liverpool is pretty chilled out and never in a rush, so it's just like, oh, I didn't realise you were playing today. Any chance of guest list? So our guest list just like starts going up to over the 100
See,
mark.
I'm showing my age because I said they would call instead of text, so I got to remember that one. Hey, I'm glad you guys are in town. I was talking to Will and the people earlier, and I was bragging about the beer we have here in San Diego. Are you familiar with I assume you guys like beer.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with? We have a really burgeoning craft beer scene here in San Diego County, and I just hope if you get a chance, if you're in town for more than 5 minutes, you get a chance to sip on one of them because they're pretty good.
Hopefully, going to go to some places tomorrow. So if you have any recommendations,
I have tons of recommendations for you, and we'll do them when we get off camera. But I'm happy to give some of those to you. The Wombats, ladies and gentlemen, playing tonight at Lump of Coal.
91X.